Part 1. The illusion of our perception. Imagine holding a single page, torn from an endless book. You can read the words on that page, understand a fragment of its message, but the full story, the greater context, remains hidden. You're left to wonder what came before and what lies ahead. This isn't a scene from science fiction. This is the tantalizing mystery of higher dimensions, a concept that challenges the very limits of human understanding. We navigate our lives in 3 dimensions: length, width, and depth. It's the space we see, the volume we touch, the physical realm we're so used to. But what if reality doesn't stop there? What if just beyond the edges of our perception there exist realms where time bends like a river, where space folds like paper, where the impossible becomes natural? This idea isn't new. In fact, it lives at the intersection of cutting-edge physics and ancient philosophy. Both have dared to ask the same profound question: is our universe just a shadow, a projection of something far more immense, far more mysterious? Could it be that what we see, touch, and measure is merely a sliver of a much grander, multidimensional reality, a cosmic tapestry woven with invisible threads? To better understand this, imagine an ant crawling across a sheet of paper. To the ant, the world is two-dimensional. It perceives only length and width. The concept of up and down, of trees reaching toward the sky or clouds drifting above, doesn't exist in its reality. It lives a flat life on a flat surface, completely unaware of the vast 3-dimensional world we live in. Now, what if we are that ant? What if we too are confined by the limits of our perception, blind to dimensions that stretch far beyond what our senses can register? What if the fabric of the universe is not just 3-dimensional, but 4, 5, or even 11 dimensions deep? Modern physics entertains this idea seriously. Theories such as string theory and M-theory suggest that the universe may have multiple dimensions curled up in ways we can't detect. These theories don't just spring from imagination. They are rooted in advanced mathematics and equations that even Einstein himself struggled to decipher. Take gravity, for example. To us, it's a familiar force, the thing that pulls us toward the Earth, the glue that binds galaxies together. But what if gravity is more than just a force? What if it's a ripple in a higher dimensional space, a vibration echoing from realities we cannot see? Some physicists believe that gravity might be leaking from another dimension, which would explain why it's so much weaker than other fundamental forces like electromagnetism. And then there are black holes. Those cosmic giants that swallow everything in their path. Traditionally, we've seen them as regions of extreme gravity, where nothing can escape, not even light. But what if black holes are something more? What if they're gateways, portals to other dimensions, or even other universes? In these realms, the laws of physics as we know them may collapse and be rewritten entirely. Space, time, and matter could behave in ways that defy our imagination. These aren't just speculative musings. They're part of ongoing scientific exploration. The Large Hadron Collider, the world's most powerful particle accelerator, is helping scientists probe these mysteries by smashing particles together at near light speeds. In those moments of high-energy collision, we catch fleeting glimpses of the fundamental structure of reality. And sometimes, just sometimes, what we see hints at something more, something deeper, richer, and more complex than our 3-dimensional minds can fully grasp. Ancient spiritual traditions also speak of hidden realms and higher planes of existence. Mystics have long believed that our material world is only one layer of a vast, interconnected reality. They speak of energies and dimensions that cannot be seen but can be felt, sensed, and experienced through inner awakening. Is it possible that science is now circling back to truths that were once known only through intuition and inner vision? Maybe the world is more than just atoms and molecules. Maybe it's energy, vibration, consciousness unfolding across dimensions like waves upon an ocean. Perhaps the veil that separates us from this greater reality is not impenetrable. Perhaps it's thin, and every so often it lifts, giving us a fleeting glimpse of something extraordinary. So the next time you gaze up at the night sky, remember this. You might be looking at more than just stars. You might be looking through a window into a dimension beyond time, beyond space, beyond imagination. The illusion of perception is powerful, but what lies beyond it is even more so. Part 2. Beyond the veil of reality. Let's push this further. If our senses are limited, and if we only see a fraction of what truly exists, then what else might we be missing? What lies just outside our reach, hidden not by distance, but by dimension? Picture a radio tuned to a single station. All around it, countless frequencies are broadcasting, but it remains locked to just one. In the same way, our minds are tuned to the station of physical reality, sight, sound, touch, taste, and smell. But what if we could shift the dial? What if higher dimensions are broadcasting their own realities, all around us all the time? Science is beginning to embrace this possibility. Quantum mechanics tells us that particles can exist in multiple states at once, that a single atom can be in two places at the same time. This is not theory. It's been observed, tested, and repeated. In that strange quantum world, reality doesn't follow the rules we know. Instead, it unfolds like a dream, where cause and effect blur, and possibility becomes more real than certainty. Could these strange behaviors be the shadows of higher dimensions? Could the bizarre behavior of subatomic particles be caused by interactions with realms we can't perceive? Some physicists think so. They suggest that what we call random may actually be the influence of hidden variables that exist beyond our space and time. It's as if we are watching a play, but only hearing the echoes. The real action happens on a stage we cannot see. What we experience as reality may just be the footprint of something far greater, a higher order of existence casting its reflection into our limited world. Even time, the relentless flow we so often take for granted, may not be what it seems. In our daily lives, time moves forward. We age, we change, we remember the past but cannot touch the future. Yet in the realm of higher physics, time is not a river but a landscape. All moments past, present, and future may exist simultaneously. Like pages in that endless book, we only experience one page at a time, but the whole story is already there. If that's true, then perhaps time travel is not science fiction, but simply a matter of perspective. Maybe the future isn't something we move toward, but something we tune into, a frequency waiting to be accessed. Maybe destiny isn't fixed, but fluid, and maybe consciousness is the key. This brings us to the most mysterious force of all, awareness. What role does consciousness play in this multidimensional dance? Are we passive observers or active participants in the unfolding of reality? Increasingly, scientists and philosophers are beginning to suspect the latter. Some quantum experiments suggest that the act of observation, simply watching, can affect the outcome of a particle's behavior. In other words, reality may not be fully formed until we perceive it. If that's the case, then consciousness is not just a passenger, but a co-creator of the universe. Could it be that our minds are not confined to our skulls? That our awareness extends beyond neurons and brainwaves, reaching into fields and frequencies we've yet to measure? If dimensions beyond the third exist, could our thoughts interact with them? Could our intentions shape them? Ancient teachings speak of this power, the power of thought, intention, and vibration. They describe the world not as a static machine, but as a living, breathing web of energy. In this view, we are not separate from the cosmos, but deeply entangled with it. Every action, every word, every thought sends ripples across the universe, touching even the unseen. Modern science is just beginning to catch up to this idea, the notion that consciousness might be a fundamental part of the universe, like space, time, and energy, is gaining traction. It's no longer just spiritual poetry, it's a field of serious inquiry. So what does all of this mean for us? It means we are more powerful than we think. It means that reality is not fixed, but fluid, shaped by unseen forces, higher dimensions, and the power of our perception. It means that life is not a simple journey from birth to death, but a mysterious voyage through a multi-dimensional ocean we are only beginning to explore. The veil that hides these truths is thin. It can be lifted through science, through inner awakening, through a deep questioning of what it means to be alive. When we open our minds and hearts to this possibility, we begin to see the universe not as a cold machine, but as a symphony, and we too are part of its music. At 3, awakening to the greater self. If we accept that reality is deeper than it appears, and that higher dimensions might be woven into the very fabric of existence, then we must ask the next question: what is our place in all of this? Who are we really? For most of our lives, we identify with the body, the personality, the name we were given. We live by roles and routines, guided by memory and habit. But beneath all of that, there is something more, a silent witness, an awareness that has been with us through every moment. That awareness is who we truly are. It is not bound by time, not confined by space. It is the part of us that dreams, imagines, and wonders what lies beyond the stars. This deeper self, this consciousness, may be our true bridge to the hidden dimensions of existence. Throughout history, sages and mystics have spoken of awakening, not just waking from sleep, but waking from the illusion of separateness. They tell us that what we see is only the surface, and that behind every moment is a greater presence, a field of energy that connects everything. In that space, the boundaries between you and me, between thought and reality, begin to dissolve. Modern science, once skeptical of such ideas, is starting to catch up. The field of quantum consciousness proposes that the mind is not just a byproduct of the brain, but a participant in the unfolding of the universe. In this model, your thoughts, your focus, your emotions, they're not just internal experiences, they're signals, they're frequencies, and they interact with reality in ways we are only beginning to understand. It's as if your consciousness is a lens, shaping the flow of time and space around you. What you focus on expands. What you believe shapes what you experience. In this view, intention becomes a force, attention becomes a portal. Imagine walking through life not as a passive observer, but as an active creator. Imagine understanding that every choice, every thought, every feeling is not isolated. It is part of a larger field, one that responds to your energy, your vibration, your will. This doesn't mean that life becomes easy. There are still challenges, still storms to navigate. But it does mean that you are not powerless. It means that you are more than your past, more than your fears, more than the circumstances around you. It means that the future is not something waiting to happen to you. It is something you can step into consciously. This is the essence of awakening, remembering who you are beyond the illusion. You are not the page, you are the reader. You are not the image, you are the light that casts the shadow. You are not just matter, you are energy, intention, awareness. You are a multi-dimensional being having a human experience, learning, growing, evolving. So, what now? Perhaps it's time to shift our questions. Instead of asking, what is reality? We begin to ask, how can I align with it? Instead of wondering what lies beyond, we ask how we can live more fully here and now, knowing that we are already part of something vast and sacred. Meditation, stillness, mindful living, these aren't just spiritual rituals. They are tools, tools that quiet the noise of the surface world and tune us into deeper frequencies. In the silence, we can hear the whisper of the cosmos. In the stillness, we can feel the presence of something greater, not outside of us but within. This is the gift of consciousness. It allows us to see not just with eyes, but with insight, to listen not just with ears, but with presence. To live not just with motion, but with meaning, and perhaps that is the ultimate truth hidden in the illusion of our perception. That what we seek in the stars, in science, in mystery, has always been within us. The doorway to higher dimensions is not somewhere far away. It is here, in this breath, in this breath, in this moment. In you. At 4, living as a multidimensional being. Now that we've glimpsed the possibility that we are not merely flesh and thought, but consciousness connected to something far greater, how do we live with that awareness? The truth is, you are already living as a multidimensional being. You feel it in those moments of deep intuition when you know something without knowing how. You sense it in déjà vu when time seems to fold in on itself. You touch it in dreams where the rules of this world fall away and another language, symbolic, emotional, profound, begins to speak. These are not accidents. They are echoes of a deeper reality, whispering that you are more than you believe. To live as a multidimensional being is not to escape this world, it is to embrace it more fully, with open eyes and an open heart. It means moving through life with a quiet awareness, a sensitivity to energy, to synchronicity, to meaning that others might overlook. It means becoming a translator between worlds, bringing insight, compassion, and creation into everyday moments. You start to see the invisible threads, how a thought can change a room, how presence can heal, how love can cross any distance. You begin to feel time not just as a straight line, but as a spiral, where lessons return, where growth deepens, where cycles bring renewal. You begin to sense that the universe is not something outside of you, but something alive within you. And with that realization comes a responsibility, because the more conscious you become, the more your choices matter. You realize that fear is a signal, not a ruler, that judgment is a veil, not the truth. That separation is an illusion, and that kindness, even the smallest act, ripples across dimensions in ways you cannot yet measure. In this state of awareness, life becomes more than survival. It becomes an art. Every moment is a brushstroke, every word a note in a greater symphony. You stop chasing meaning and begin creating it. Not because you have all the answers, but because you've awakened to the questions that truly matter. Who am I? Why am I here? What can I give? What can I give? What can I become? These are the real doorways to higher dimensions, not through machines or equations or maps, but through the unfolding of your own soul. You begin to trust your path even when it's unclear. You begin to welcome change knowing it brings growth. You begin to see others not as strangers, but as reflections, each carrying their own piece of the great mystery. And above all, you begin to remember that you are never alone, that the universe is listening, that your life is a message sent across time and space, written in the language of experience. So live boldly, love deeply, ask the impossible questions, and listen for the answers, not just in the stars, but in silence, in breath, in the beating of your own heart. Because the journey through higher dimensions does not begin in some distant galaxy. It begins here now, with you. Part 5. The path within practices to access higher realms. If we are multidimensional beings, and the universe responds to our consciousness, then the most powerful journey we can take is inward. The doorway to higher dimensions is not hidden in faraway places. It opens in moments of stillness, in silence, in presence. In the breath you are taking right now. For centuries, wisdom traditions across the globe have taught us the same truth in different words. To go beyond the illusion of the physical world, we must begin by quieting the mind. Because the mind, for all its brilliance, is like a mirror clouded with thought. When we pause, breathe, and allow those thoughts to settle, clarity emerges. The mirror becomes still, and in that stillness we begin to see what lies beneath. Meditation is one of the most powerful tools we have. Not because it gives us something new, but because it reveals what has always been there. A vast awareness, beyond judgment, beyond fear, beyond identity. Even just a few minutes of sitting in silence, observing your breath, tuning into your heartbeat. It shifts your vibration. It recalibrates your frequency. It aligns your inner world with the deeper rhythm of the universe. Breathwork is another ancient practice, and yet so overlooked. The breath is not just a biological function. It is a bridge between the conscious and the unconscious, between thought and emotion, between body and spirit. By controlling the breath, slowing it down, deepening it, we begin to regulate the nervous system. We send signals of safety, of openness, of connection, and in that state, we become more receptive to higher insight, to synchronicity, to energy. Visualization is a doorway to creation. When you close your eyes and picture not just what is, but what could be, you are using the same faculties that shape reality. Imagination is not fantasy, it is the blueprint of the future. Athletes, artists, inventors, they've all used this power now. So can you. See yourself as a being of light. See yourself surrounded by peace. Picture yourself walking through the world with grounded strength, compassionate eyes, and a heart wide open. These are not just ideas, they are frequencies, and the universe responds to frequency. Gratitude is another powerful key. It raises your energy instantly. When you give thanks, not just for the big things, but for the quiet, everyday moments, you open your heart, you align yourself with abundance, you tune into the beauty already present around you, and from that place, more flows in. These practices, meditation, breathwork, visualization, gratitude, they are not religious, nor do they require special training. They are ancient, yet timeless, gentle yet powerful, and they are available to you always. You don't need to retreat to a mountain or escape your life. You just need to pause, to listen, to return to yourself. And with time, you will begin to notice the shift. You'll feel calmer, even when the world is loud. You'll feel guided, even when the path is unclear. You'll feel connected, not just to people, but to something greater. This is what it means to live in alignment, to walk with awareness, to act with intention, to breathe with purpose, to become a conscious co-creator of your experience. The higher dimensions aren't somewhere else. They're here, hidden in plain sight, accessible through your own consciousness. You are not waiting for a miracle. You are the miracle awakening to itself. So take a breath. Close your eyes. Feel the life within you and remember, the stars you seek in the sky are already shining in your soul. Part 6. Synchronicity and the energy of alignment. Have you ever had a moment that felt too perfect to be coincidence? You think of someone and they call, you stumble upon a book that answers a question you didn't even know you were asking. You walk a path you've walked 1,000 times, but suddenly it leads you to something new, something that changes everything. These are not accidents. These are synchronicities, the universe's way of whispering, you're in tune. Synchronicity is the language of alignment. It shows up when your inner world, your thoughts, emotions, intentions is vibrating in harmony with your path. You're not forcing life to happen, you're allowing it, and life responds. It's like tuning a radio. When you're out of alignment, all you hear is static, confusion, resistance, struggle. But when you're in tune, suddenly the signal becomes clear. The right people, the right opportunities, the right insights all begin to flow effortlessly, not because you're lucky, but because you've shifted your frequency. So, what determines that frequency? Your thoughts, your emotions, your energy. Every thought you think sends out a signal. Every feeling you hold creates a field around you. And the universe in all its intelligence reflects that back to you in the form of experiences. If you walk through life carrying fear, anger, or doubt, you'll find more things to fear, more reasons to be angry, more situations that feed your doubt. But if you carry gratitude, courage, and trust, then the world begins to mirror that too. This is not just philosophy, it's physics. Everything is energy. You are energy, and energy flows where attention goes. When you begin to consciously direct your focus, your state of being changes, and as you change, so does your reality. This is why alignment matters more than hustle, more than force, more than control. When you're aligned, even the smallest step carries immense power. A single word can inspire. A quiet decision can shift your future. A gentle presence can light up a room. So how do you return to alignment? Start by becoming aware of how you feel. Your emotions are your compass. When something feels light, expansive, peaceful, you're aligned. When it feels heavy, tight, resistant, pause, realign, reconnect. Ask yourself, what am I thinking right now? What energy am I sending into the world? Is this thought nourishing me or draining me? And then shift. Even a small change in thought, from fear to curiosity, from worry to trust, can open the door to transformation. Practice grounding yourself in the present. Visualize your ideal future, not with desperation, but with love. Speak kindly to yourself. Surround yourself with energy that lifts you. Take inspired action. Not because you're chasing something, but because you're becoming someone. And when synchronicities begin to appear, smile. They're your confirmation. They're the universe saying, yes, you're on the path. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are a powerful participant in creation. The universe is not separate from you. It is responding to you always. So align your thoughts with truth, align your heart with love, and align your actions with purpose. Because when you do, life begins to dance with you, and the more aligned you are, the more magical the dance becomes. At 7, rewriting the story, belief, and the blueprint of reality. Every life is shaped not just by events, but by the stories we tell ourselves about those events. And those stories are built on something even deeper, our beliefs. Beliefs are invisible frameworks. They color everything we see. They whisper what is possible and what's not. From the moment we are born, we begin collecting beliefs from our families, our culture, our experiences. Some uplift us, but many limit us. I'm not good enough. I'll never succeed. Love is painful. Life is hard. Teaser phrases might seem small, but they echo through every decision we make. They shape how we love, how we dream, how we act. They define the ceiling of what we think is possible. But here's the truth: to belief is not a fact. It's just a repeated thought, one that we've agreed with long enough that it feels real. And if we created our beliefs, we can also change them. This is where true transformation begins, not by fixing the outside world, but by examining the inner architecture that built it. Ask yourself gently, what do I believe about myself? About success, about love, about life. Where did those beliefs come from? Do they still serve who I am becoming? You may find that some beliefs were never truly yours. They were inherited, absorbed, unconsciously accepted, and now they've outlived their purpose. To release a belief is not to deny your past. It's to set yourself free from a story that no longer defines you. And in that freedom, something incredible happens. You begin to write a new story, one rooted not in fear, but in possibility. You start replacing "I can't" with "I'm learning." You swap "I always fail" for "every step brings growth." You trade "this is just who I am" for "I am evolving every day." And as your beliefs shift, so does your world, because your outer reality is simply a mirror of your inner convictions. This is why so many ancient teachings point inward. They knew that if you change the seed, the fruit will change. If you shift your energy, your experience must follow. So how do you begin rewriting your beliefs? Start with awareness. Notice the thoughts that repeat. Catch the phrases that shrink you. Question the doubts. Then bring in compassion. You're not broken. You're just carrying old programming, and now you're choosing to update it. Wu's affirmation. Speak new truths into being, even if they feel unfamiliar at first. Your subconscious listens. It learns. Visualize your life under a new belief system, one that empowers you, one where you are enough, worthy, capable, and guided, and most importantly, act as if it's already true. Because action rooted in belief is what creates momentum. You are not bound by your past. You are not limited by your mistakes. You are not a prisoner of old patterns. You are the author of your mind, the architect of your perception, the creator of your reality, and every belief you release, every new one you embrace, is a brushstroke in the masterpiece of your life. So let go of who you were told to be and rise into who you truly are. Not small, not powerless, but vast, radiant, and free. Part 8. Stepping into your highest timeline. Imagine your life as a vast river flowing through countless possible paths. Each choice you make is a fork in the water, leading you toward a different future. Some paths feel familiar, safe, yet limiting. Others shimmer with possibility, waiting for you to step forward. This is the concept of your highest timeline, the version of your life where you are fully aligned with your deepest truth and greatest potential. But how do you reach that timeline? How do you step out of old cycles and into new realities? It begins with awareness, recognizing that you are not trapped by your past or present circumstances. You are a quantum being, capable of jumping from one reality to another by shifting your energy and intention. Your highest timeline is not a distant dream. It's a reality already existing, waiting for your permission to merge with your experience. To step into it, you must first let go of limiting beliefs, old fears, and outdated identities. You must clear the space within, like pruning a garden to make room for new growth. Next, you choose to embody the qualities of your highest self: courage, love, clarity, and purpose. You act as if you are already living that timeline, aligning your thoughts, emotions, and actions with that truth. Visualization becomes a powerful tool here. See yourself in your highest timeline. Feel the energy, the joy, the freedom. Let that vision anchor inside your heart and mind. Take inspired steps, even small ones, that reflect your new path. Each action sends ripples through your reality, reinforcing your alignment. Trust that the universe supports this shift. Synchronicities will guide you. Doors will open. You will feel a deep resonance as you move closer to your true self. Remember, this is a journey, not a race. Be patient with yourself. Celebrate progress, no matter how small. Stepping into your highest timeline means stepping into your power. It means living intentionally, creating consciously, being fully present. You are not defined by what you have been. You are defined by who you are becoming, and that becoming is limitless. You are the river, the current, and the guide. Flow boldly toward your highest timeline. The path is yours to create. Conclusion: awakening to the infinite within. As we journey through the mysteries beyond our senses, we begin to see that the world we know is just a fragment of a far greater cosmic design. Like and on a sheet of paper, our three-dimensional perception limits us, yet science and ancient wisdom invite us to expand or vision, to imagine realities where time flows differently and space folds beyond comprehension. This awakening challenges us to rethink what is possible. Our perceptions, shaped by beliefs and stories inherited or created, build the very framework of our reality. But beliefs are not immutable truths. They are patterns we can choose to release and rewrite. In letting go of limiting narratives, we reclaim the power to redesign our inner world and, by extension, the outer world that reflects it. Alignment emerges as the key. When our thoughts, emotions, and actions resonate in harmony, synchronicities arise, signaling that we are on the right path. Life flows effortlessly, mirroring our inner state. This alignment is not about control or force, but about tuning into our authentic frequency, allowing our highest potential to emerge naturally. And within this unfolding process lies the profound ability to step into our highest timeline, a version of ourselves fully awakened, courageous, and free. This is not a distant dream, but a living reality accessible through awareness, choice, and inspired action. By embodying our highest self, we create ripples that transform our experience and invite the universe to dance in harmony with our purpose. This transformation calls for patience, compassion, and trust. It is a journey of continual becoming, where each moment holds the power to shift us closer to the life we were always meant to live. In embracing uncertainty and surrendering to the flow, we find freedom beyond fear and limitations. Ultimately, the infinite lies not somewhere out there but within us, a boundless wellspring of creation, waiting for our awakening. The universe is not separate. It is the mirror of our consciousness, reflecting back the truth of who we are. So, step boldly into this vast mystery. Release what no longer serves you. Align with your highest truth and become the radiant creator of your own extraordinary reality, because the story is yours to tell and the power is always within.